Your brain is sabotaging you and thinks it's helping. What if I told you that right now, as you're reading this, a part of your brain is actively trying to ruin your life, not because it hates you, because it loves you, and that's exactly the problem. Sarah's phone buzzed at 2:47 a.m. She grabbed it, squinting at the screen. Congratulations! You've been selected for the senior manager position. Her dream job, the promotion she'd worked 3 years for, the title she'd practiced saying in the mirror, and within 60 seconds she'd written, "Thank you, but I don't think I'm the right fit." Her thumb was hovering over send. Here's what Sarah didn't know. Deep inside her skull, a walnut-sized alarm system had just hijacked her entire brain. It wasn't trying to hurt her. It was trying to save her life. The problem? It couldn't tell the difference between a job promotion and a mountain lion. Your brain has a bodyguard that never sleeps. Let me introduce you to your amygdala. It's an almond-shaped structure buried deep in your brain, and it has one job: keep you alive. For thousands of years, it's been incredibly good at this. When your ancestors heard rustling in the bushes, the amygdala screamed danger and flooded their body with stress hormones before they could even think. Run first, think later, survive. That system kept humans alive when lions were hunting us. But here's the twisted part. Your amygdala can't tell the difference between a lion and a promotion. It spots anything unfamiliar and sounds the alarm. Success? Unfamiliar. Danger. Visibility? Unfamiliar. Danger. Change? Unfamiliar. Danger. 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 When Sarah saw that email, her amygdala detected a threat, not a physical one. Something worse. The possibility of failure. The risk of being exposed. The chance that everyone would see her try and fall flat on her face. In less than a second, stress hormones flooded her system. Her heart raced. Her thinking got foggy. And suddenly, turning down her dream job felt like the smartest, safest decision in the world. Scientists call this self-sabotage. But Sarah wasn't weak. Her brain was doing exactly what evolution designed it to do, choosing safety over uncertainty. The pattern you've been living your whole life. 3 weeks earlier, Sarah was at her sister's house in Denver, watching her 5-year-old niece build a tower with wooden blocks. The little girl stacked them higher and higher, tongue sticking out in concentration. Then, just as she reached the final block, she knocked the whole thing down herself. "Why'd you do that, sweetie?" Sarah asked, laughing. Her niece looked up with serious brown eyes. "If I knock it down, it doesn't hurt when it falls." Sarah had thought it was cute kid logic. Now, staring at her phone at 3 a.m., she realized she'd been doing the exact same thing her entire adult life. Last year, she'd ended a relationship right when things got serious. "I'm just not ready," she told him. But the real reason? She'd never seen her parents make love work. Her brain had learned that getting close meant getting hurt. So it hit the eject button first. 2 years ago, she dropped an art class after just 2 sessions, even though painting was something she'd always dreamed of trying. "I don't have talent," she told herself. But really? She was terrified of being seen trying at something that mattered and failing. The apartment she'd stayed in for 6 years, even though she hated it. The friend group she'd outgrown. The promotion she'd avoided applying for, until her boss forced her hand. Your brain prefers predictable unhappiness over uncertain happiness. Research proves it. When you master failure, when you know exactly how disappointment feels, your brain treats that as safer than the scary unknown of success. It sounds insane, but there's a twisted logic to it. The war happening inside your head right now. Here's the worst part. Sarah's logical brain knew better. That's your prefrontal cortex, the thinking part behind your forehead that handles reason, planning, and decisions. It was screaming at her, "This is what you've worked for. This is good news. What are you doing?" But in moments of stress, the amygdala hijacks the system. It's like a panic security guard who smells smoke and pulls the fire alarm before checking if someone just burned toast. By the time your thinking brain catches up, you've already sent the email, picked the fight, eaten the entire pint of ice cream, or blown up the opportunity. Scientists call it an amygdala hijack. And here's what makes it so hard to fight. In that moment, sabotaging yourself feels like the smart choice. It doesn't feel like fear. It feels like intuition, like common sense, like truth. That's your ancient survival system, convinced that your safety depends on staying small. The 30 seconds that changed everything. Sarah sat on the edge of her bed, phone glowing in the dark, her fingers still hovering over send. Then she remembered something her therapist had said months ago. The feeling will pass. Feelings always do. The question is, will you let the feeling make your decision? She closed her eyes, counted to 10, then 20, then 30. Here's what happened in those 30 seconds. Her prefrontal cortex started coming back online. The stress hormones began clearing. The urgent, screaming sense of danger started to fade. And in that tiny space between trigger and reaction, she found something she hadn't had at 2:47 a.m. Choice. She didn't send the email. Instead, she opened her journal and wrote, "My brain is trying to protect me. It thinks success is dangerous. It's wrong, but it's trying to help." Naming it helped. Psychologists have found that when you identify self-sabotage for what it is, an outdated survival strategy, you create distance between yourself and the impulse. It's not you that's broken. It's just your bodyguard being a little too enthusiastic about its job. Why you keep getting in your own way? Let me tell you what nobody talks about. This isn't your fault. You didn't choose to wire your brain this way. You didn't decide to have an overprotective alarm system that treats every opportunity like a threat. Your amygdala learned what to fear from every experience you've ever had. Every rejection, every failure, every time someone laughed when you tried something new, every time your parents fought, every movie where the person who took a risk got hurt. Your brain cataloged all of it. And now it's trying to keep you safe from anything that reminds of pain. The relationship you sabotage? Your brain remembers when your last one fell apart. The job you turned down? Your brain remembers a boss who told you that you weren't good enough. The creative project you never start? Your brain remembers the art teacher who said your drawing looked interesting in that tone that meant terrible. None of this is logical, but all of it is real. What Sarah learned, that changed everything. The next morning, Sarah replied to the email. She said yes to the promotion. Her hand still shook when she hit send. But this time she knew what that feeling was. Her amygdala throwing a tantrum because she'd overruled it. 2 weeks into the new role, she still wakes up some mornings with that familiar tightness in her chest. Her brain still whispers that she should quit, that she's going to fail, that everyone will see she's a fraud. But now she knows what that voice is. It's not truth. It's not intuition. It's not some deep wisdom about who she really is. It's just an ancient alarm system that thinks she's in danger when really she's just in new territory. The real change happened when she stopped fighting herself and started working with her brain. She learned to pause when the sabotage urge hits. Just 30 seconds. Count to 30 and let the feeling pass before making any decision. Name the fear instead of obeying it. My brain is scared because this is unfamiliar. That doesn't mean it's dangerous. Treat her amygdala like an overprotective parent. Well-meaning, trying to help, but not always right. The truth about your self-sabotage. Here's what you need to understand. Your brain isn't doing this out of malice. It's doing it out of love. A confused, outdated, sometimes destructive love. But love nonetheless. Your brain wants you safe more than it wants you happy. It wants you alive more than it wants you successful. It would rather see you lonely than risk another heartbreak. Rather see you stuck than risk another failure. Rather see you small than risk being seen. And for thousands of years, that strategy worked. Staying in the cave kept you alive. Taking risks got you eaten. But you're not trying to avoid lions anymore. You're trying to build a life. What to do the next time it happens. So here's what you do next time you feel the sabotage urge. When you're about to send that resignation email or pick that familiar fight or turn down that opportunity, pause. Ask yourself, is this really me making this choice? Or is my invisible bodyguard trying to save me from a danger that isn't there? Your brain has been sabotaging you because it thinks it's helping. Now you can help it understand what you really need. Because here's the final truth, the one that changes everything. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're not sabotaging yourself because there's something wrong with you. You're doing it because you have a brain that loves you so much it would rather see you safe and small than vulnerable and alive. The question is, are you going to let it? That tightness in your chest right now, that voice saying, but what if I really am an exception? What if I really don't have what it takes? That's your amygdala. Say hello. Thank it for trying to protect you. Then do the thing anyway.